Hello, it's Reija and you are watching an announcement video for the round 3 of the One Readathon to rule them all. For more information, just keep watching. So the One Readathon to rule them all was created by Ashley from I Don't Have a Degree in Reading, and she was so kind to let me be a co-host on this third round. The readathon will start at midnight on November 22nd and it will run throughout the week up until November 30th. And you will have the whole week to dedicate to reading. And this time around the readathon is themed around Harry Potter. We are having a house cup and each house has 2 hosts. So for House Hufflepuff it's me and Rebecca from Tea Hags, and for House Ravenclaw it's Michael from Books Rebound and Jade from Bedtime Bookworm. For House Gryffindor it's Chris from Chris Book is Goldrun and Ashley, the creator, from I Don't Have a Degree in Reading. And for Slytherin it's Zoe from You're a Book Nerd Zoe and Meg from Tome Infinity. So we are doing the host duties, arranging Twitter sprints and also talking to you guys on Discord about the various group reads. And I will leave all of the necessary information. There is a Google spreadsheet where you can find out all the rules for the readathon and also a sign-up form for your house. Remember when you are signing up for your house to pick a name that you will remember, because you will have to type that name exactly the same as when you signed up when you are calculating your points. So I will leave all the links to the forms down in the description. You will be using the forms to sign up for your house and also to tally up your read books and the points. So about points, each reading challenge completed will accumulate points for your house, and if you will complete challenges that are meant for other houses, that will then play against those houses and it will actually give minus points for those houses. You will get full points for your own house and then half points against other houses as you play the game. And there will also be a giveaway for the winning house. There will be a raffle and a member of the winning house will be chosen through a raffle to win a gift card for Book Depository. So without further ado, let's go over the challenges, starting with Hufflepuff. So each of these challenges coincides with a trait that is associated with that house. First up we have loyalty, which is valued at 1 point, and that is to read a fantasy book with a great friendship. Next up we have work, which is valued at 2 points, and that is to read the last book in a fantasy series. Then we have justice, which is valued at 3 points, and that is to read a fantasy book with a revenge plot or a revenge subplot. Then we have patience, which is valued at 4 points, and that is to read a fantasy book of over 500 pages or to listen to an audiobook that is over 16 hours. And then we have the house buddy read that is worth 5 points, and for Hufflepuff it is The Wicked Fox or Gumiho by Kat Cho, and I for one will at least be reading this one for the group read, so let me know in the comments if you are going to participate, and if you are a member of House Hufflepuff, maybe we will have discussions about this book during the readathon. Then the challenges for House Ravenclaw. The first challenge is creativity, which is worth 1 point, and that is to read a fantasy book that is a first in a series. For wit, which is worth 2 points, you will have to read a fantasy book that features comic relief. For intelligence, which is worth 3 points, you will have to read a fantasy novel that has a complex magic system. And for learning, which is worth 4 points, you will have to read a book that is by a marginalized author, for example, a person of color, LGBTQIA+, neuro-diversity, etc., or all of them. And you will have to read a book that is by an author that has some marginalized identity. And the house buddy read for Ravenclaw, which is worth 5 points, is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. The challenges for Gryffindor are as follows. Bravery, which is worth 1 point, you will have to read a book that has been on your TBR for the longest time. For Nerve, which is worth 2 points, you will have to read a fantasy book that has a really outdated or ugly cover. For Chivalry, which is worth 3 points, you will have to read a fantasy book that is either written by a female author or features a point of view from a female character. For Courage, which is worth 4 points, you will have to read a sequel from a fantasy series that you are on the fence about. For example, if you didn't like the first installment or the second installment and are kind of iffy about continuing, then you will need to read the next book in the series. And the house buddy read for House Gryffindor, which is worth 5 points, is to read We Set the Dark on Fire by Taylor K. Mejia. And then the challenges for House Slytherin are as follows. Ambition. Read a fantasy book about a character who is trying to shake the status quo, for example, overthrow an empire. That is worth 1 point. For Resourcefulness, which is worth 2 points, is to read a standalone book. For Cunning, which is worth 3 points, is to read a book that has a villain or an anti-hero point of view. And for Leadership, which is worth 4 points, is to read a book that subverts the Chosen One trope. And the house buddy read for House Slytherin, which is worth 5 points, is to read The Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch. And you can definitely triple up, double up, quadruple up on these challenges if you have a book that fits all of your house challenges and even fits some of other houses' challenges. You can use that book to scratch off all of the challenges. And the point of this readathon is to just have fun and read as many fantasy books as you can during this week. But if you want to read only 1 or 2 books, that is completely fine. I, for one, am going to be tackling all of these challenges with just 1 or 2 books. So, you know, wait for my TBR coming up in like a week or so. And yeah, those are pretty much all of the things that I wanted to tackle in this announcement. I will leave all of the links to the forums and the host channels down in the description. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at the One Readathon and use the hashtag the One Readathon when you are coming up with your TBRs and posting about the readathon. And be sure to join us on the Discord server. That link will also be down in the description. I know that I, for one, will be very active on Discord and will be talking about the group buddy read. And yeah, I hope you are going to participate in round 3 of the One Readathon to rule them all. Tell me in the comments if you are going to participate, what are you planning on reading, and I hope to see you during the readathon. Bye bye!